This is KGW News at Sunrise.
4 people are dead after a suspected drunk driver crashes into a homeless tent camp. We talked to witnesses who continue to mourn the loss of their neighbors.
And Portland's street response team is going citywide starting today. What you can expect from the program moving forward. Plus.
Oh, wow. Wow. Where do we start with this? This is what everyone's talking about this morning because it's either the last thing you probably saw last night or maybe the first thing you're seeing this morning. Will Smith won the Oscar last night for Best Actor after slapping Chris Rock in the face on stage in the middle of the Academy Awards. That is actually hard to believe, but we all saw it last night on live TV. We're talking more about it this morning on Sunrise.
Yeah, it is, a history-making moment on television. And there's so much to unpack on this. We're going to talk about that coming up. But we do want to say good morning to you on this Monday. Oregon spring break over. Yeah. We hit a record warm temperature yesterday, so we can be happy about that.
Not a record.
For the year. The warmest day of the year.
70 degrees.
Sorry, not a record.
Yeah, first time we've hit 70.
A record in my mind.
First time we've hit 70 for the year.
Yes.
Felt good.
Should we go back to the slap? Should we go back to the slap?
Was that just, goodness gracious. All right, it's good to have Drew back, isn't it? He just keeps things going here. We have showers moving south to north up across the area. There's a potential thunderstorm moving north of the gorge out, that's east of the Dalles. So the forecast, everybody has a shower chance today. Here we are right now. Taken as a whole on the west side, there's not a lot of rain out there, but you might find a shower as you get going. So it's going to be mostly light showers at the bus stop. It's mild outside, 54 degrees, 59, still the shower chance continuing with clouds at noon, and the shower chance continues with a temperature of 64 when the kids get out of school later today.
All right, Rod, thank you. We'll check in with you soon. Boy, a busy night for Portland police dealing with multiple shootings across the city. One of them happened just after midnight on North Marine Drive near Bayou Lakes. New video overnight shows all the bullet casings in the parking lot of a warehouse there. Now, police spent hours scouring over the parking lot looking for evidence. You see all those markers there that they're looking at with their flashlights. We asked for information about what led up to the shooting, and if anyone was injured, we'll update you when we hear back. Then, a few hours earlier, police were in Northeast Portland at this shooting on Northeast 82nd and Milton Avenue at 9:30 last night. Our photographer who went to the scene did see a body on the ground, but police have not confirmed yet that someone has died or if someone was arrested.
We're learning more about the 24-year-old accused of crashing his car into a Salem homeless camp, killing 4 people. Enrique Rodriguez Jr. has been charged with 14 different crimes, including manslaughter and driving under the influence.
Christelle Coonway talked to one man who says the car missed him by just a few inches.
People here are devastated and understandably shaken up. A witness tells me the car flew past him before crashing into a few tents at the campsite. Now, authorities believe alcohol may have been involved in the crash, but people here tell me they just want a safe place to go.
All I remember is the screaming, pretty much.
The screams now haunt Ryan Wright after a car crashed into the campsite where he lives, here on Front Street Northeast.
We heard a pop in the crash, and I look over, and there's a car coming straight past us.
Police markings show the car went over the curb to the opposite side of the road and straight into the camp.
I could have reached out and touched the car as it flew by. I was almost part of it.
It missed him by inches.
It broke that tree in half right there, and it lands right on top of 3 of the tents, killing some of my friends.
Police say 2 people died at the scene, another 2 died at the hospital, and 2 others have life-threatening injuries. The driver was also taken to the hospital.
Numb. I don't know how to feel. Confused. Where are we supposed to go that's safe? This could have been prevented if we had somewhere safe to go.
Wright and most of the people here used to camp across the street at Marion Square Park. He moved here when the city cleaned the park earlier this month in response to public health concerns. This campsite was slated for cleanup this coming Wednesday. The cleanups come with offers of alternate shelters, but not everyone accepts.
It's where can they go? And right now, there's not enough answers to that question.
Jimmy Jones is with the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency, serving the homeless population. He says about 1,800 people sleep outside in the Salem area, but the amount of shelters comes short.
We still have no answer for about 500 people who have been outside for a long time. Going back for years and years, we've had individuals struck by cars in those areas, and it's one of the bigger ways in which the homeless population in this community have passed away in the past.
We just need somewhere that we can go that we're not going to get bothered and that's safe for us, that stuff like this isn't going to happen to us.
Until then, Wright continues the struggle to survive.
Same thing I do every night, survive, one way or another.
Salem Police has not released any updates on the conditions of those who were taken to the hospital. That includes 2 victims and the driver who was alone in the car. In Salem, Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.
Well, at least one person is dead and another missing after a boat sank off the Oregon coast. The Coast Guard said it got a Mayday call around midnight Friday, 35 miles west of Florence. 68-year-old Mike Morgan called and said his boat was sinking with him and another worker on board. A rescue boat found debris in the water and the body of the worker. Crews looked for Morgan for more than 24 hours before calling off the search. His family describes him as someone with a love for the ocean. He was a charter boat captain for 35 years before becoming a fisherman.
Starting today, the City of Portland Street Response Team will have more ground to cover. What started as a pilot project in East Portland last February will launch now as a city-wide initiative. Devin Haskins is joining us more with this. Devin, I know you're in the newsroom right now, but you're talking about this event happening later today.
Yeah, Drew, the program provides an unarmed response to various 911 calls involving mental health issues. It's been seen as a success by supporters as a legitimate and holistic alternative to police. Now, since launching in February of 2021 in the Lentz neighborhood, the teams responded to 383 non-emergency 911 calls. Portland State University's research team tracked the team's impact for the first 6 months, and during the research, they found in almost 90% of the calls, police would have typically responded. More than half of the calls involved someone with mental health needs. And the most common outcome, in about 1/4 of all the calls, the person was treated without being sent to a hospital. Now, one thing to note, the team will not respond to a person in distress if there is a visible weapon, if that person is in traffic, or they're in a private residence. Those will still be responded to by a police officer. Now, we talked with the program manager a couple of months ago about what her team has learned during that pilot period.
What we're learning from the day shift versus the night shift is a difference in call volume, and to some extent, a slight difference in the level of acuity and types of calls that we're getting sent to. So it's been really interesting. The night shift hasn't been as active as we expected it to be.
The street response team will start responding to calls throughout the city in just a couple hours. They'll work from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now, the city hopes to find money to fully fund the project 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Drew?
All right, Devin, thanks for that update. Our next story this morning is about a community event that happened yesterday at North Portland's Dawson Park. So we saw Willie Mae's Country and Soul Catering teaming up there with DB's Celebrity Status Barbershop to provide food and haircuts for people who are homeless. Dawson Park is where 55-year-old Mark Johnson was shot and killed in the middle of the day just 3 weeks ago. Organizers said the purpose of Sunday's event was to refocus efforts on making the park safe and family-friendly. They also said this part of town needs more places that are designed to bring the community together.
Putting more than check cash in place in our neighborhoods, man. Putting more than just clubs and strip clubs and to where people can come around and you know, and the result is killing. You know, put a community center up. You know what I mean? You know, help us get our community centers up. Help us get our churches together, man. Help us get our, anything that we can do to help our people get off these streets.
Business owners in that part of North Portland also told us that it's important for neighbors to take charge of the community rather than waiting for the city to fix certain problems.
Okay, now we have to get back to the Oscars because there was one moment last night that everybody is talking about this morning. It's when Will Smith hit Chris Rock after he made a joke about Will's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Oh, wow. Wow.
You just heard that hit. Man, the crowd just fell silent. They were stunned. When Will Smith sat back down, he yelled, "Keep my wife's name out of your bleeping mouth." Pinkett Smith revealed back in 2018 that she was diagnosed with alopecia. She's often posted about the challenges of hair loss on Instagram and other social media platforms. Will Smith later won Best Actor for his role in King Richard. And during his acceptance speech, which was tearful, he apologized to the Academy but did not specifically mention Chris Rock. Hey, stay tuned. There's so much to cover when it comes to this. Lots of people weighing in. We'll have much more on this story at 5:30.
It is still shocking to see, even today.
Agreed.
And you mentioned the stunned silence. Eventually, there was stunned silence as Will Smith is yelling at the stage. That place is deathly
People thought it was a gag.
But at first, when the people were clapping, laughing, they didn't know what was going on, right? I think a lot of people did think at first this is all part of some staged event.
Right.
And number one, I thought so because I couldn't believe how well he took the slap to the face and then kept moving forward with the event. So much to talk about.
I'm surprised Will wasn't walked right out of that arena.
Well, they got to keep him for the next Best Actor, and then,
Chris Rock's not going to be pressing charges, so he dodged a bullet, so to speak, there.
But yeah, when Will Smith made the acceptance speech for his award, like, I turned the volume up and I went, I mean, that was a powerful speech.
To Drew's point, I thought it was a fake Hollywood hit because Chris Rock barely moved.
Yes, he didn't put his hands up. He took it and just kept going forward. Again, we said we would talk about this in the 5:30 half hour, and here we are talking about it right now. Let's break away for a moment because, Rod, I know you have some weather to talk
Nina
about.
mentioned 70 yesterday. First time we have done that. The forecast yesterday was 68. We hit 70.
Yay.
Here's a look at where we are right now. There's an upper level low. It's down in California. It's throwing everything from south to north up across Oregon and Washington. So widespread scattered shower fields out there for you this morning. There's some heavier rain that's out east of the Dalles, now crossing the Columbia up into Washington. And there is that thunderstorm threat today for central and eastern Oregon once you get on the east side of the Cascades. Not a whole lot of rain here on the west side today. In any one location, looking at somewhere between a trace to at most probably still less than 1/10 of an inch of total rain. Here we are at 9 o'clock this morning. But the clouds continue and the ongoing chance of there being some rain around continues. Again, at the bottom of your screen down around Madras, there's a potential thunderstorm at 4 p.m. today. And then 9:30 this evening, clouds start to thin out. The shower chances start to fizzle. Tomorrow will be dry. It does appear we start off with a low cloud deck. Here we are at 8 o'clock in the morning for your Tuesday. And then we'll go on and see at least increasing sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Well, with the clouds, and remember the flow patterns coming up from the south, it's really mild outside. We're 55 in Salem and Portland. The Dow's currently at 59, 40s at the coast, 48 in Bend. So yeah, nobody's chilly. 47 out in Baker City to start your day. High temperatures will be low to mid 60s. It looks like this gives Salem 63. Wind southwest light, kicking to the northwest, but remaining light. Similar numbers up through southwest Washington, although this keeps Longview just shy of 60 at 58. Tomorrow's dry, 65. Another little dab of rain on Wednesday. Another dab of rain on Friday. Another dab of rain on Sunday. It's like an old Brill Cream commercial. Lots of dabs. We'll be back in just a moment.